Hi, everybody who is just joining in. If you are joining in, this is Off the Mat Chat with my friend Katy Joe. Um, I am going to have you introduce yourself, Katy Joe. Will you tell our viewers who you are?
yeah. Hi, I'm Katy Joe. I am a friend of Kate's. We trained together back in the day. I'm a yoga instructor and a budding herbalist and a traveler and a dog mom and a cat mom and, a couple other things too.
And so you are. So we trained. Yeah, we trained together at Hilltop. That's how I met you. Did you know that you were one of my first yoga teachers? I don't know if you know this.
Oh, oh.
I took one of my first classes with you and Hazlitt. I remember coming in and you were like all tan and you were like talking about being in a garden and I was like, oh my God, I want to be her.
Probably meant I had dirty, disgusting feet too.
You definitely had dirty feet.
Starting and running to teach. Yeah.
It was awesome. I was like thinking about it as I was writing questions. I was like, I doubt she knows that.
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
So for everyone that doesn't know or didn't do any research about you, you're in Guatemala right now, right?
Yes, I am.
How long have you been there?
I'm coming up on 3 months. Not quite, but yeah, just about 3 months now.
So you've been there since February?
March 3rd. So really early beginning of March. Yeah.
Okay. So you went there originally, you taught your retreat there, right?
Yeah. Like, I was joking. It's like the retreat that like never ended basically. I came for a few days and then I led my retreat. And then right as we ended retreat on that Friday, things started kind of closing down, but luckily most people's flights were out that weekend. So they left. And then the airport closed on the following Monday. And I was left here with my sister and her boyfriend and a couple other girls from the retreat. So they all went home. I'm still here.
Oh my gosh. Hey, so Andrew, this is the cue. Andrew Florence is awake and Andrew's in the background doing this. Sorry, I just saw her wander by. I don't want her to. Okay, so you decided. Wait, I want to hear about your retreat first. Kind of. Tell me what you guys did on your retreat.
Well, it's the second one I've had here, and they're always themed around like the moon cycle. So the first one was the new moon, and the second one was the full moon. And I should have known it was going to be crazier because of making it by the full moon. Yeah, I should have known. But we go up the mountain, kind of out of town, and we're pretty secluded, and we just practice yoga and meditation. We center around the moon. So we had like full moon celebration this year. And then I was able to kind of bring in some of my new herbalism knowledge. And we did like DIY herbalism and talk chakras and just did the whole thing. And then of course, because it's me and my retreats, we always end by coming down and like getting pizza and beer and, and celebrating our good work.
Right.
So yeah, it was lovely. And if things, when they clear up, I'd like to come back. This is one of my favorite places in the whole world. And it's a kind of like a spiritual center for yoga, meditation, and things like that. So there's a lot going on, usually, not right now, but usually in those realms.
It looked gorgeous there. Yeah. And you said that's the second time you've done it. And it's in the same spot every time, right?
Yeah. I picked this spot because it's way, way up the mountain. Town can be kind of busy. Kind of like a who's who, in town. So I like to take them and just send them right up the mountain. So it's actually like, we do like a 45-minute, pretty intense hike where everybody hates me on the first day.
Yeah, that's a way to break them in.
Yeah. And then, everyone says, I'm not going back down. And then by the midweek, we all go down and then we go back up and then we go down again. So it's not too strenuous, but it definitely removes us from the busyness and there's no Wi-Fi and things like that. So it's really nice to disconnect. Yeah.
That's a commitment right there. No Wi-Fi. That's awesome. Wait, okay. So you did your retreat, everyone went home, and then you decided to stay, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How come you I'm curious because I follow you along on Instagram and that's how everybody like stays connected. I'm always curious. Why did you decide to stay? I think you might have said indirectly, like on your stories, but I want to know, why did you decide to stay?
Yeah. There's a couple reasons. So I was with my sister and her boyfriend, and we got them safely home. The only way to leave this whole time has been through U.S. Embassy flights, and they are insane. They're like over $1,000, almost $2,000, and that's just to get to Houston, Texas. Um, and
Oh my
I was
God.
supposed to, yeah, and I was actually coming home and supposed to pack up and go to Oregon to do an herbal apprenticeship, and that got canceled. So my partner Phil had already kind of been expecting to be missing me for a couple months. So we talked about it, and he's working full time, and I wasn't anymore. So we just decided that with everything going on, that it would be probably better for, honestly, my mental health and my, my spiritual practice to be here for longer. Also, I was really, really impressed with the steps that they took here to address coronavirus. And I just I didn't feel in my heart that jumping on a plane in a panic to rush home to the States was in my highest good at the time. Lots of traveling, it was really starting to go down in Michigan, where I would be coming to, and because my partner was working, I would have to come home and like be living with him and put him at risk, and he's the only one running there, like doing things with one other guy. So it just didn't make sense. And as soon as I got his blessing, it was kind of an easy decision for now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, shout out to Phil. He's a great supportive partner.
Sure is. He's ready for me to come home now, though. He's taking care of our 3 animals in our house, and he's working full time. Right. Everyone's asking him when I'm coming home. He's like, just come home. It's over. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think when I saw that you were going to stay, I was like, I think that's a good choice. I'm glad she's not leaving. I don't think anybody feels comfortable traveling. That's kind of
that was really it. And it was when my sister went to the airport, they were all crowded up on each other and stuff. So she was really upset about that. And it just felt right.
And it's like right as it's peaking, so it's right when we like don't know shit about it. So we have all this anxiety over the unknown, right? So,
exactly. And to be quite honest, it was one of the first and strongest times I've really followed my intuitive heart. Like I didn't really have a whole lot of good reasonings or answers, but it just felt very much like the right choice. So that was cool.
And I think that progresses into the next question.
Oh, good.
You use all of, like you said, you followed your intuition, and then you kind of like have all of this time to like focus and like study and practice. And then you started teaching, and then you developed this whole new like Instagram account, which is like your whole new I don't know how to describe it. Tell me about that.
I don't know. I can be a little obnoxious on social media. I kind of like am a product of it. We had MySpace and all that. I've just always been on it, saying all of my thoughts and feelings for way too long.
I think that's what I admire about yours. That's what draws me to it. Like, yeah, you tell your message.
Like it. Sometimes they're like, God, shut up, get out of here. But thank you. Yeah, so Love in the Dream is what I'm calling it. And that was actually, it's like, there's always something going on here, I swear. I swear, it's like a fiesta or like some machinery or something. But Love in the Dream, it was something I kind of had been planning for this summer, for like a herbal apothecary to go on the road and do like, the music that we follow, Fish and the Dead and Company and things like that. And I had planned to be making stuff for that. And I was all set and ready to go. And then that's obviously not happening. So I had the name like Love in the Dream Apothecary, like kind of glued in my head. That's what it was going to be. And then I've had this extra time to refocus, and I thought, why not put everything into the one like brand or whatever. So my yoga and that, and then I've been calling it like movement, medicine, and magic, because I'm kind of working on like, I get a lot of questions about the retreats and the big scale events I do, the large scale events. So I'm thinking of like a consulting aspect as well, just kind of helping other yoga teachers or other people with stuff. And a really big part of my retreat this time around was really focused on trying to not just come to a beautiful place and take from the community, you know, and like support myself in that way. So I did a lot of research on how we could be as sustainable as possible as tourists and visitors, and businesses we could support and things like that, trying to make sure our money goes the right way. And it was very cool to be able to plan for a whole group of people how to do that. So that's an aspect that I'm kind of going for with the consulting. Like, can I help people to, like, you know, continue to flourish, but like in sustainable ways that help other communities, and, you know, don't just take and give back. And yeah, so it's all new. I didn't know how to start, and I started with the Instagram. I'm like, well, I'll start with this, see if people like it. And then I can't do the website while I'm here because I don't have a computer, so that's in the works.
Oh yeah. You can't build a computer from your phone? No, I'm just kidding.
Right?
I'm gonna work with that. So I saw. So you dove into the herbalism thing. Have you taken classes, or you said your one got canceled? You did do one though already, right?
Yeah, I went to Costa Rica in November, and I did 150 hours there. And then I've gone to like there's fairs in Michigan. I've done a bunch of online classes and reading and stuff. So I'm just kind of diving in. But yeah, the Costa Rica was my main so far schooling. But now I'm studying with a teacher in Michigan, and he's amazing. And it's all on Zoom right now. So it's like hours of sitting and looking at these boxes. And being, yeah. But I'm getting used to it. And so because the other opportunity went away, I get to study with him. So it's just one door closed and another one open, which is awesome.
Yeah, I love how that works. Yeah. Are you learning about the plants? Am I yelling really loud?
No.
Okay, good. Are you super into like the native plants there right now? Are you like self-teaching, or is he teaching you?
No, like everyone at home is working with violet and dandelion and cleavers and all these like spring plant. And that's kind of a reason why I want to come home because here I've got a lot of tropical stuff. And that's actually what I studied in Costa Rica too. But because I have been on other people's land, there's not really any opportunity for medicine making. I've been trying to sit with the plants and like meditate with them more, and just kind of be in communion with them a little more. But again, I'm on other people's properties a lot of times, so I'm like just sitting in someone's garden, like you know. But I've been working with aloe and hibiscus and bougainvillea and a couple other flower essences, because those I can do kind of without making anyone too mad, snipping a flower or two. But, yeah.
I saw that you made like a DIY. Was it a face scrub or like a face? You did like hibiscus and something else, and it was like a face wash.
Yeah, so I did like a serum, you know, like a little oil. I'm of the serum age now, so I did like a hibiscus serum, and then I added that to coffee grounds, and then made a scrub out of it, because I didn't know this till I was here, but hibiscus is called like the Botox plant because it tightens your skin. So I was like, yeah, you know.
That's awesome. Do you eat it, or do you spread it on your face, or can you do both?
Yeah, all of it. Yeah.
I'll take 3,000 of those, please. I thought, what was I going to say too? This is just a side note. It was really funny. You were like, forget Sephora. Check out this DIY, and literally, I'm just gonna call myself out. A little thing popped up in my Instagram, and it was like, Sephora is going live now. And I was like, damn it! I follow them on Instagram. I'm gonna transition.
That's awesome. Well, the funny thing is, when I was reading all about hibiscus and like coffee grinds, and I'm not gonna give the hint. I got another one coming out, but it's really common also. But it's like, if you think about it, like there's so many shampoos and face things that are like hibiscus rose. It's like, those are just plants around us, you know?
Right.
And, like, you buy these extracts for like so much money. And so, yeah.
When it's like abundantly around us.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you're teaching too. You're teaching in a little bit, not too soon, but you're teaching for Hilltop and for yourself. Tell me a little bit about I've asked everybody this because it's like a curious thing for me because we're all teachers and we're like, what on earth are we doing right now? Or how has their teaching experience been live or like online?
I think so. What I've been doing, and I haven't seen a whole lot of people doing it this way. Most people are doing like Zoom, which I tried and I'm not having a lot of success with. I don't think I can figure out the right times. So I've been actually pre-recording, uploading to YouTube, and then sharing a link so that people can do it whenever. And it's been fine, minus like all of it. Like the recording part, I was living with some children for a while and it was like three dogs, chaos. Like I could not get a recording. So that took forever. And then uploading, I don't understand, takes forever. Running out of space. You and I talked about that, like the space thing. I kept running out of space. So that took forever. And then but now I've got like more of a swing of things. So I think I'm getting a little more used to it. We all want to get back to people, I think.
Yeah.
I do think that this is a really interesting time for us to like grow this into our toolkit, because I do get to practice now with people that I don't see. And it's awesome.
I agree too. I love that. I don't think I ever got to do one of your yin classes until you put it online and you were like in a beautiful setting with birds chirping like where you're at now. It was awesome. So
yeah, that was nice. There's a lot of anxiety that goes along with it too, because I'm trying to put myself in these beautiful spaces, but that also means that like a screaming child could run by at any time, or or a dog,
a naked child, my own,
yeah. Well, these ones weren't mine, and they didn't even speak English sometimes, so I was like, I don't know what they're doing, where their parents are. But yeah, and then adults too coming in. Katy Joe, what are you doing? I'm like, so I look forward to the non-anxiety part of that, where we can just go to the studio and see each other and be done. But yeah,
right. We don't have to do anything. There'll be no electronic anything involved in our actual teaching after this.
I know, but I think we're getting better at it, to be honest. We were all a little bit all over the place in the beginning, and now I think we're doing pretty good.
I think so too. I think we've gotten good quality, not just like quality like audio or quality like visual, but quality like teaching. Great, like really quality classes. If you guys haven't checked out Katy Joe's classes, look up her Instagram. It's right there. She's got them. Do they DM you for them?
Yeah, I have them DM, and then I do like by donation, suggested donation, or free if you need. And I've got a couple series. That was my big project. Those series that I recorded. Those were like I was like practicing and then like pulling my hair out and then practicing, pulling my hair out. Like it was a lot. But those I sell in like chunks, and those are nice too. So
you're talking about your chakra series, right? Will you talk about that just a little bit so our listeners can know?
Yeah. So that's I made the decision about like halfway through my time here. I was like, I'm kind of running out of money. I gotta do something. Right. And so I made the decision to go to this place that had a big, beautiful yoga shala, and the children and they and the dogs, and they had this big, beautiful shala, and I asked them if I would be able to record there. And so I started off with 3 longer classes, because that's what I do in retreat. I'll teach like a chakra 1 and 2 class, and then 3 and 4 and 5, 6, and 7. And I started off with that, and it was pretty much impossible to get a full recording without something happening. Chaos. So then I started making short 40-minute ones, 40 minutes to an hour. And so then at the end I had all these recordings. And so I made 2 different packages of, you can do all the short ones or you can do 3 long ones.
That's amazing. So you have become you've perfected your series teaching, as well as you become like an audio visual producer as well.
I need an assistant. I need a manager.
They're really helpful, let me tell you. You were talking about the different places that you've been. So I was most curious with your tree house that you were living in. If anybody that's following or listening doesn't know, Katy Joe was living in like basically a tree. If you would tell me a little bit more about your tree house, I would like to know.
Sure, yeah, it was a tree house, like straight up. The place is called the Hermitage here, and it's a like silent retreat center. It wasn't silent during lockdown. We were just all kind of living there together. And yeah, it was a tree house. It was amazing. This big, big tree that they like kind of built it like spirally, and it had 3 levels and it was open, which was cool. I actually moved because rainy season happened and I didn't want to be getting rained on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. I love being up there. I love sitting up there. They had a little meditation platform and stuff. And
Oh, is that what that was?
It was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. And I had like a couple pets when I lived there. I had like a squirrel that would visit and a mouse.
I never seen that.
Yeah, the squirrel was like came like straight up in. I think he was surprised. We saw each other. We were like, and then he left. But yeah, it was getting pretty wildlifey in there. So I came back to a house.
It was very wildlifey. This is like, I was like, this is beautiful. I love where you're at. But you had giant spiders just like in your house.
Yeah, they're everywhere here.
How were you scared of them? Did they crawl on you in your sleep?
I'm looking around for one now. You know what? At first, the first night I was in there, I was like, I counted 9, I think, and I was like kind of like looking at them and like spraying them with water and just kind of like no. And then after a couple, there was ants in there too, like those busy flying ants. So then I was like, do I want the spiders or the ants? Like whatever. So then after a couple nights, I noticed they don't move. They come wall spiders and they don't go anywhere. So I was like, as long as you don't move, we're cool. So I would just kind of count them and make sure, like, know where they all were, and then just let them be.
You would have like what is it when they take a tally of the people that live in a census of your.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, he's gone. Well, where did he go? But yeah, they pretty much stayed in the same spot all the time. The ones by my bed, like they could not stay. I kicked them the hell out. But
oh my gosh, I was like really curious. I was like, this looks interesting.
Yeah, they don't move. That's a cool thing. They don't move and they don't make webs. So they just wait on the wall for prey, and then they go get it, and then they go right back. So it's like, all right, as long as I know where you're at, that's okay.
I guess that's a settling thought when you're amongst all of the wildlife.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm actually okay with the spiders. It's more like the scorpions that I'm like.
Oh yeah, that's right. You found a scorpion. Tell everyone where you found a scorpion.
Oh my God, so many. But that one was in my mat. I unrolled my mat like this, and it went flying out, and I was like, okay. And that was the second on my mat. The first one, I was outside. It was just walking by, minding its own business, but I was floating back, and I saw it mid-float back. And like it was where it was where my feet would land, and I was just like, what? And I just like kind of crumbled, and then like didn't float back for like ever again in that spot.
You're talking about floating back from like when you're flowing in like a vinyasa flow, like when you step your hands down and you jump kind of backwards. Her feet almost hit a scorpion.
I was like, no.
So did you tell people that you are? I guess we're live. I've already asked. You're coming home soon, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hopefully.
Okay, so what are you most excited about? I know as yogis, we like to live in the moment, and we have no expectations, right? Ever about anything. Mm-hmm. But what are you most excited about coming back home?
I'm really excited to see my partner, Phil. I really can't wait to see him. My animals. I'm gonna have sushi on my first day. I'm like so about it. I'm about that. Yeah, and I'm really excited to get my garden. That's kind of why I want to get. If I got home too much later, there would not be a great garden opportunity for me. So I want to get my garden going, and I want to start making medicines out of the stuff that I'm planting now. So I'm excited to come home. It's a good time of year.
You're gonna come home so tan and like. What are you gonna plant in your garden? Is it all herbs, or do you do like produce, like vegetables, flowers?
So I kind of going back and forth. This year I'm doing mostly herbs. We're doing a lot of new stuff, so I'm really interested. Yeah, we're getting a couple elderberry trees, bushes, shrubby things. Okay. I'm doing some flowers, which is really new to me. I used to be like very just food motivated and only stuff I could eat. Now I'm like messing around. Yeah, so I'm doing some, what did we get? We did an order from Black Locust Farms in Dexter. They have a bunch of medicinal plants. And then I did a seed order from Fedco. And because my partner has access to a greenhouse, we're gonna, start them in there. So mostly medicinals. I've got some, basically last year, what I did is I like took note all year long of like what I wished I had in my medicines and then trying to get those going. So it's going to be an adventure.
What ones? Will you tell us, or is it a secret?
No, I'm just trying to think. There's a lot. I'm getting a lot. I'm really excited about the elderberry bushes. I think they're shrubs, trees. I don't know what they are, but I'm excited about those. I'm doing like calendula flowers, like a lot that are flowers too, so that I can, kind of like landscape with them. Calendula flowers. I'm going to try blue vervain, which is like a favorite medicinal of mine.
Okay.
Tons of Tulsi. That's holy basil. That's my favorite. That's my girl. Yeah, a lot of like gentle medicines. We're gonna do a little patch in the back of like gnarly medicines, like burdock and like, this like nettle, like the stuff that you don't really want in your garden, but I want.
When you mean gnarly, you mean like pokey, kind of like very self-protected plants, right?
Exactly. Like not very pretty, like your traditional weeds that are like, so medicinal. So I'm really excited about those. And then like the pretty flowers in the front. And then hopefully if the dog doesn't, pee on stuff, we'll be able to like use all of it.
Good luck with that. If you figure out how to keep your dog from peeing on it, let me know. My dog all my stuff.
Really they know. That's why. They know.
You can treat them really well. Well, that kind of, those are all the questions that I had for you. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about? Because I don't want to keep you too long, and I know the longer we start to ramble, not ramble because we're really interesting, but the longer we go, I just don't want to keep you too long.
Yeah, anything you and I could probably go for a while.
Every time, man, like we could just keep talking and talking, but we gotta.
No, I just, it's interesting because I've been trying to be present on social media to like just remind people that I exist, that I'm doing okay. That was a big thing. Like people were really lovingly worried about me, but I felt like too, like people were kind of like also like kind of maybe weren't sure what to worry about, so they were like worrying about me when I was okay. So it's just been I feel like being active on social media has been like helpful to be like alive and present for parents and everyone to just be wondering, and that's been really nice. But it's been, being in another country has been super interesting as like an outside looking in perspective of like what we're going through and how we deal with it and how we can kind of frame our mindset on it. I really feel like this is a chance to create and shape a new paradigm. And I know it's hard and shitty and people feel sad and the internet is awful. Today I was like, the internet is horrible. Like I hate it. But we can kind of curate like our perspectives by choosing to bring the good in and not avoiding the bad. It's there and we all feel it for sure, but just that we're kind of like mindful about that stuff and that this can be maybe a force for good, hopefully.
I agree. And that's what I really had liked seeing your Instagram, speaking of your social media again too. Like I've liked the perspective that you've taken because it's different. It's a step back from what we're all experiencing here. It feels like that you are I've just really enjoyed that. And it's nice to see the positive, even though, like you said, it gets shitty. But
and I mean, I want to. Yeah, and I want to obviously avoid like toxic positivity and being like, this is so great. It's not great. People are really suffering, but I feel like at the same time, like it's also a chance. I've been trying to like count the positives, like, oh my gosh, I'm meditating so much because I have nothing else to do, and like I have time to do this and I'm doing online courses and I can connect with teachers who I don't get to practice with. And, it's so awesome to be able to take multiple classes in a day and, just kind of do my thing. And there is a lot of positive, but I also think it's a really amazing opportunity to go inward during this whole thing. And I worry sometimes that if we're too much online, that we're not giving ourselves the chance to like maybe take in what's being offered with this whole thing. So
right. And take
sometimes
it, like, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's good to connect, but it's also like important to give ourselves the time to like step away and like be with ourselves, because I feel like all of the, you know, Facebook and all that is like super extroverted. That's being extroverted, and you're taking in other people's opinions all day and stuff. And so I just think it's important that we're like stepping back and practicing and, you know, taking our time with ourselves, so we know that what we want coming out of it.
Right. Did everyone just hear this? Am I pointing at you? Now I am. The knowledge that she just dropped right there. I hope everyone heard all of that, because it was amazing. It's truth, and it is so good.
I've had a lot of time to think.
Which is great. I'm going to ask you one last question before we go. Guys, Katy Joe's teaching online at what time? 7:30?
Yeah.
7:30 in. If you guys want to, if now your interest is piqued, you're wondering who this awesome lady is right here. She's teaching at 7:30 at Hilltop. Before I let you go, I want to ask you one more like herbalist question. For anyone who's never really dabbled in herbs, what is a really easy first introduction to herbalism, as far as like what herb would you have them start to explore?
What herb would I have them start to explore?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a hard one. It depends on what you want to do with it. I'm learning that my first intro to herbalism was through food. You know, you can eat your herbs, you know, and your health and your wellness starts with your diet and exercise and sleeping and pooping, basically. So you got to cover all those bases right before you even start taking stuff.
Right.
So I would say anything you can eat. So like dandelion is awesome. You can go get it from the grocery store too, even though you should be able to forage it. But dandelion's a great herb. Dandelion, and then it's night. Dandelion, and then I would also say like even like your normal kitchen herbs like rosemary and thyme. Thyme is like a decongestant. Sage is great for your throat. Like check out the kitchen herbs that you're familiar with and look into their medicinal values. Yeah. And I think you'd be surprised. And then the last thing, I can't stop now. The last thing I would say is be really curious about what's growing around you, because the freaking magical thing about herbs is like they are the ones that you need are around you. It's crazy. If you start to become interested in that, start to get a plant ID app and notice what grows around your home and your work and your community. And I bet you find one that is working for an ailment that you have. It's crazy. They're magic.
All right, I believe you. I'm going to start hunting right now.
Okay, let me know what you find.
Okay. All right, and with that being said, Andrew, on the other end, we are going to wrap this up. Katy Joe, thank you for
Thank you. This was super fun.
So much. I can't wait.
Thanks for the human interaction. I miss you.
I know, it's really nice to see your real life, almost real life. All right, enjoy your yin class tonight, and I will see you soon, and I love you.
Love you too. Okay. Tell everyone hi.
Okay, well.